Hello subscribers and non-subscribers, welcome back to IL-2 Sturmovik, 1946, flying out as a Royal Navy fighter pilot. Let's see, what is our mission? Patrol the area around the HMS Illustrious, maintain air superiority over the South China Sea in AG-3, which is right over here, but really they just mean this entire area here. Let's see. So some skirmishing continues in the area around to AM7, which is up here. I think that's roughly where we bombed, or maybe it was up here. I don't know. It was one of those two. Sub-Lieutenant Winthrop Manock, I guess. I don't know. Has transferred to the Flight Air Arm number 820th Squadron, and Flight Petty Officer Malcolm Heslin has also transferred in. And it looks like we're going to be led by the sub-lieutenant that just transferred into our squadron. We shall see how this works out for us. And I don't think the map changed at all after the last mission. I think it's still pretty much how it was last time, but maybe it'll change after this mission, but we shall find out soon enough. So we are still flying our trusty Seafire Mark III. I say trusty, we'll see if it really is necessarily trusty. Okie dokie, so let's see how this works out for us. Ending flaps, of course. So we don't have anybody behind us, I think. Yep, nope, nobody behind us. Realistically speaking, the other carrier, which again I think is the US carrier, is probably going to be launching some aircraft of its own, I would think. Yeah, it looks like there's some aircraft over there, which is the other carrier, wherever it is situated. Somewhere in front of us. I think off to our right, but I can't quite see it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, off to our right. Okay.
Hello, little friend. Good to see you guys. So glad you decided to join us. Over.
We're not joining anyone, though. Come on, 3, or C, excuse me, because we're not using numbers, we're using letters. Yeah, so why not? Okay, let's see if we manage to take off correctly. We'll wait for him to be up a bit more and throttle up to about 50-ish. Wrong one.
Heading 0. Altitude 60.
And gear up. Canopy closed. Flaps up. Oh, shut up. I'm catching up with you guys. Well, I will be. Now I let autopilot take over for a bit.
Heading 180.
Seriously, autopilot? You had to do that? Okay, guys, don't worry. I'm going to catch up with you. Maybe. Yeah, as long as autopilot doesn't ram into one of you. Just watch out, C. And so now we just wait for the enemies to come to us. And there we go. It looks like... oh, wow. That's a hefty number of them. I wasn't expecting that many. They're going to outnumber us. I would imagine we're probably going to meet them on this path here. that my mouse is moving across, but that's just a guess. I don't, realistically speaking, know. So we shall 4 times speed this while we wait for them to arrive. I don't want to do 8 times because that literally kills my FPS. So I'd rather avoid doing that, but I might end up doing it anyway, or just speeding up a lot of this waiting in post. We'll see which one I decide to do. But I guess while we wait, I can go ahead and say a couple of things. So, I was planning, or well, maybe not planning, but I was thinking of doing something special for essentially the UK's version of Memorial Day, which is apparently called Remembrance Day. However, that's not going to happen because it takes place on November, or in November, yeah, November, well, in November, I don't recall the exact date, I think it was the 11th. But yeah, so that's not going to happen. That's too far away, and I can tell you right now, this series is not going to live long enough to make it that far. So, yeah. And, okay. Huh. Maybe we're not going to meet them on that route, but rather while they turn around on this route, maybe? Because they're going to come in from this direction. They're probably going to go past, come up to this line somewhere along this line, or shortly before or shortly after they hit it, and turn around to head back to base. And that's probably when we'll meet them instead, okay? Though if we manage to take out this group first, that'd be wonderful. These guys are probably going to get engaged by this group over here. These guys are going to come down to deal with us. I think they're off to our left. Well, they have to be somewhere. Question's just, what are they? Are they Bettys or something else? And how high are they? Are they above us? Doesn't seem like it. At least I don't see anything above us. I don't think they're below. Well, they have to be below us if they're not above us. They don't appear to be on our level either. But I don't see them below. Oh, there they are, actually. They are roughly at our level, actually. I wasn't quite expecting that. I'm waiting for my group to turn around to actually decide to engage these guys. Tab. We got bandits, guys, and I accidentally turned on the wing smoke. That's not what I meant to do. So, are we just gonna keep going in this direction, guys? Just gonna ignore the fact that there are enemies directly behind us that we should probably deal with, especially before the rest of the enemy group arrives. And oh, those guys are not actually being engaged. That's a surprise. I figured they would be. If these guys don't hurry up and turn, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna move over and engage. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Well, actually, no. Oh, Jesus. Tab. Oh, God! Oh, Jesus! Okay. That was unexpected. So I don't quite know what my wing's doing. They appear to be going full retard, to be completely honest with you. They are pretty much ignoring the fact that they have enemies directly behind them. So they're probably going to be killed yet again, and you can't blame me for my entire squad getting murdered. It's not my fault. They wanted to ignore the enemy. Oh. I don't know how that guy managed to get to the rank of sub-lieutenant if, well, that's going to be the case. So, so long as it considers this mission fine for me to not have to refly it, we're just going to treat it that way and move on. And I guess this episode will just be missions 2 and 3. But yeah, so that's the way that's going to be. So we're going to wait for these guys to be quiet.
Red 2. Congratulations. Attention. Fighters, 12 o'clock. Heading 180. Altitude 50. Bombs away. Attention. Beginning our attack run. Armor. Commence the attack.
Okay, whatever. Now we shall, they're going to be talking for a while. Talking about how my entire squad managed to get themselves murdered because they're idiots. It's not my fault they did not realize anything. Oh, but they're lucky. I think. Well, actually, no. Only 3 of us managed to hitch a ride back to base. Vance Compton was killed. Wherever the hell Vance Compton is. Oh, there it was. Yep. Flight Chief Petty Officer Compton was killed. So, surprisingly, we only lost 1 person. 3 of us managed to hitch a ride back to base. I think Compton just got unlucky. Because that's the only thing that makes sense. So, Warrant Officer Evans bailed out over there. His plane was shot down over here. Lieutenant Mannock, or Sub-Lieutenant Mannock, was bailed out over there, and his plane was shot down up there. That's us. But I'm guessing Compton went down with his plane? That's the only thing that would make sense to me. And our SBD-5s that were sent out over here, or at least one of them was shot down, and managed to destroy a single enemy car. But whatever, we're going to apply this, and we're just going to, I guess, do missions 2 and 3 this time. So let's see, Combat Air Patrol, and 1 second. Okay, it was nobody of importance. So, let's see. I don't like how a lot of this stuff is right at the edge of the map. That doesn't allow me to really see what the hell's going on. So, let's see. We got a new guy. Flight Petty Officer Rowan Harries. Or, yeah, Harries, I guess? I don't know. Who was brought in, I guess, to replace Compton. Who is, yeah. Can't really say anything about Compton. Didn't get to know him. Granted, didn't get to know really anybody in my flight group because they all managed to get themselves killed or captured because they ignore the enemy. I'm not quite sure what the deal is there. They're acting like idiots, really. But nonetheless, Combat Air Patrol mission, maintain air superiority over the HMS Illustrious in AH-4. Really? AH-4? Well, okay. Because it looks like the primary defense of the HMS Illustrious is going to be in AI-4, not AH-4, but whatever. Skirmishing still continues around AM-7. And so, yeah. And out of curiosity, so we have lost 3 people. Well, they're gone. We haven't technically lost them forever, but we lost both of the Johnsons and Compton. But at least the Johnsons were captured. In theory, we can... in real life, you'd be able to potentially rescue them if you're lucky, but in the case of this game, I don't believe there's any mechanics set up for, like, rescuing people. They get captured, they're basically dead. There really is no difference in the game's settings, I believe, for that. But, yeah, so, squadron documents. We only have 10 Seafires. Sooner or later, it's going to be like 1 person flying out there. But you can't blame me. That first mission, we lost most of our guys because they were idiots. And then the second one, they again decided to be idiots and ignore the fact that they had enemies behind them, besides the fact that they pointed it out. I tried to go and do something about it, and I ended up getting shot by some guys that I had tried to avoid, which is the reason why I corrected course originally, but whatever. I don't see this mission ending well if the AI is not going to actually try to fight. If the AI is going to do what it's doing here, I don't see this ending well at all. Oh, wait, what? Oh, screw you, game. Why'd you do that? I don't want to be number 2. I want to be number 4. Really? And I wasn't even promoted. That's the part that I find funny. I wasn't even promoted, and yet I am number 2. You might as well promote me if you're going to make me number 2. But then again, apparently our squadron has basically nobody when it comes down to actual ranks that would be needed to fill in number 2. And I guess they're like, well, you haven't done enough to be worth a promotion, you know, other than survive getting shot at by a bunch of Japanese zeros and not being killed like the rest of my flight group. Obviously, that doesn't warrant a promotion. Okay, now I will let autopilot take over. Oh, please don't murder me, autopilot. So, yeah, I don't quite see this ending well at all. Primarily just because, again, I get the feeling our AI companions, our AI compatriots, or whatever you wish to refer to them as, are going to be idiots. They were idiots the last 2 missions. I can see it happening again.
Heading 030, altitude 60.
But hopefully I'm wrong. That would be wonderful. I would prefer to be wrong, to be completely honest with you. But knowing my luck, that's not going to be the case. So let's see, where are the enemies? Okay, that's a fairly nice sized wing of enemies that they've got there. And do we have any support? No, we don't. It is the 4 of us against, well, 8 enemy planes it looks like it's going to be. Although I guess we could call for reinforcements, but that's going to take a little while because they first got to get off the ground. So, or well, in this case, off the deck. So that's going to take a little while. If we're lucky, we're not going to have to fight both of these groups at the same time. And if we're even luckier, our AI is going to do something about the enemy. Yeah, I'm going to continue complaining about the AI not really doing anything. Just to let you guys know beforehand.
Heading 0, altitude 60. Heading 210.
Oh, never mind. We are going to get some support. But those might just be SBDs taking off. Let's try to...
Heading 180. Altitude 50.
Yeah, I can't see them, so I don't know. Maybe they're not, maybe they are, I can't tell. They're somewhere below us, that's all I can tell. So, fast forward.
Heading 030. Altitude 60.
Although maybe we won't have any combat this mission, because it looks like those 2 groups of enemies are not going to fly towards us at all, but are rather going to patrol right next to one another. In the area around, what is that? Itoman, I guess? And Iwa? Oh, but maybe they're going to come to us now. I don't know. Maybe they're just flying in circles like us, wondering who's going to make the first move. And it looks like those may not be SBDs at all, but something, at least, that's meant to help us. Yeah. Okay, it looks like no combat this mission either. Well, technically we had combat the last one, but we got murdered very quickly because the AI is incompetent. Yep, and again, I'm not a fan of how I cannot see anything down there. How a lot of our patrol route seems to be right there at the very bottom of the map where I can't see anything. For all I know, there could be enemies down there. And I'll never know where they are. So this is going to be a lovely mission where we do absolutely nothing other than fly in circles for an hour. Well, maybe not an hour, but you get my point. We'll be flying in circles for a while. Oh, well, you know, maybe they're actually coming to us now. Okay, I was wrong, apparently. I don't like the potential engagement area, which appears to be right over here, give or take. And towards the edges of the map. Oh, well, no, maybe not. Maybe if we're lucky, it won't be. These guys will... Oh, okay, it looks like they're just going to keep on flying straight in that direction. If we are lucky, that will allow us to not have to deal with that. So where's our flight down there? I can't see us. I'm not a fan of that. I like to actually know where I am on the map so I have an idea as to what is around me. But we are somewhere off of the map, which is not helpful at all, and there's nothing I can really do about this. Oh, there we go. However, we're not going to deal with those enemies because we... Well, no, maybe we are. Maybe we are. It looks like they're going to fly in circles around that area. Oh, nope, never mind. Now they're coming down towards our area. They're somewhere off to our right, probably above us or at our level. So this is going to be fun, fighting at the edge of the map, where we are going to have to deal with enemies that we will not be able to see, to use our map to get even an idea as to where they are situated in comparison to us. Oh, and now they're going to be behind us. Absolutely grand, guys. Absolutely grand. You're all going to be murdered. You know that, right? I'm just going to give you guys that heads up. You're going to be killed. And you can't blame me for it. I warned you. I mean, we can already see our ships down there firing. You guys are idiots, I swear. Oh, I wish I could go and say something. Say ground control, let my guys know that there are enemies behind us. I know that won't happen, but I wish I could. So, yeah, there are enemies somewhere back there, probably in the clouds, roughly. But we're not going to know. We will never know.
Heading 030, altitude 50.
Well, that's not true. We will know, but we just won't do anything about it. If the HMS Illustrious gets shot down, it's not our fault. Well, it technically speaking is, but honestly, I don't think you should blame me for my flight leader not turning around. I would have, honestly. I would have gone, oh hey, I'm seeing tracers behind us over by our ships. Maybe we should fly over there and figure out what the hell's going on. If there are enemies over there, maybe we should deal with them.
Heading 180.
But nope, the game's like, no, you don't need to do that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And I'm not going there by myself. There are 4 enemy planes over there. I'm not going to deal with 4 enemy planes all by my lonesome.
Heading 120.
Now, it looks like a flight group just flew down to that area. The other, I guess, group that took off shortly after us.
50.
But they're not saying anything. Maybe all the enemies are dead now.
Heading 030.
I'm not a fan of this mission. I'm really not.
50.
Let's see.
Heading 300. Altitude 50. Heading 210.
Still no idea as to what my fuel indicator is. Are our ships back there still firing? I cannot tell. At least right now. I think those were some of our ships over there. I didn't see any traces or anything, so I'm going to assume that they have dealt with the enemy. What a mission! Nothing's happened. Well, except for having fun trying to land. That's gonna suck. I'll tell you that right now. This is a long mission. I hope we have plenty of fuel. And it would help if I could actually still find the fuel indicator. I cannot find it. So, yeah. That's not really a good thing, per se. Okay, now the carrier is going to head right up to there. Maybe the enemies are going to take off again. And head back to that area. It's the only thing I can think of for us to actually have any combat. If they don't do that, then there's no combat whatsoever.
Heading 060, altitude 01.
And it kind of, you know, the red light's on, which is usually an indication that engine's overheating.
Heading 240.
The radiator temperature, if I'm reading that correctly, appears to be sitting at over 120. Not sure if it's Celsius or Fahrenheit, but I'm going to assume Celsius since oil temperature is also in Celsius, or is in Celsius. And we're also flying out as the UK, or as the Royal Navy. Oh, and now we're gonna land.
Heading 060.
Screw it, I'll just autopilot land me. This is just not worth landing manually in this case. Did absolutely nothing for this mission. So, screw it. Let's try to still find out what the hell some of these things are. So when are you guys gonna actually land? There you go, one. Now you're requesting permission. Oh yeah, I still have to, technically speaking, request permission to land. Oh no, never mind. I guess it already did it for me.
Hello, tower. Flag contact, please. Over. Red 1. Red 2. Delta negative. Delta coming runway. Door on, please. Red 3. This is tower. You are not cleared to land. Aboard.
Okay.
Red 3.
So we're clear for landing.
Going around.
Like I said, we're just gonna go and say screw it and let the
This is tower.
AI do it for us.
Aboard. Aboard. Red 4. Okay, going around. Out. Red 3. Hello, tower. Requesting permission to land. Over. Red 4. Hello, tower. Flag contact, please.
You know, it's kind of interesting how it kind of looked like the computer managed to not lower the flaps completely. It managed to just lower it partially, which, well, at the end of the day is kind of BS. As the player, I'm incapable of doing such a thing. But, okay, there we go. Mission complete. Absolutely nothing happened whatsoever. Oh, some Bettys got shot down. I would have preferred fighting Bettys over A6Ms last time. For one thing. But also, I would prefer for the AI to not go and do absolutely nothing when it realizes that there are enemies behind them, especially when they point it out and do nothing. Oh, and there we go. The USS Essex was sunk. So, yes, there was indeed a US carrier, and it got sunk. And I wonder why. It couldn't possibly have had anything to do with us not going to engage them. Once we saw that there were tracers being fired by our ships. Usually that's an indication there's a fight going on. Maybe you should do something about it. But no, oh well, game doesn't apparently take that into account. If we were leading the flight group, I would have gladly gone and said, hey, I'm seeing tracers back there. We're going to go and divert off course and head over there and try to deal with the issue. Preferably so that we don't have to deal with a ship getting sunk, in this case being the USS Essex. We're lucky it wasn't the HMS Illustrious. Oh, there we go. Hey, looky there. Mission failed. I wonder why. Oh, because the American forces retreated. I wonder why they retreated. Maybe because they lost their carrier. Why did they lose their carrier? Because we did nothing. Hi, game. So, this is essentially you are going to be leaving the area now because the campaign has ended because the US lost their carrier, so they retreated, and they only lost their carrier because your flight group did nothing to the Bettys that attacked the USS Essex, and so voila game, wonderful job. This campaign is now over. We're just going to go ahead and fly out this mission and call it a job well done, and I will hold a vote. Really? To select the next one. Never mind, we're not going to be doing this mission because there is no mission. Kind of a BS thing, to be honest. So, yeah, okay, there we go. This campaign is finished. I will tell you guys this. Blame the game, not me. I'm not leading the flight group, so I can't really do anything about it. And this was the only campaign for the Royal Navy, so I'm not able to go and move on to the next campaign. And, yeah. So, like I said, I'm just going to go and hold a poll. I will be throwing that up on Google+, and I'll have a link either in the description or somewhere in the comments section. I'm going to advise that you guys go and vote over there, of course. And I always do that when I hold polls. I always advise that you guys vote. You don't always vote, but I advise it nonetheless. So yeah, oh well, that's the end of the Royal Navy campaign for us because, well, incompetence. All around, really. I will admit I wasn't doing the greatest job, but nonetheless, it didn't help that the AI did nothing either. But quick rundown as to who your choice will be. Well, we still have the Royal Australian Air Force. We still have the Royal Air Force, which the Royal Air Force will be, I don't know, probably in Europe, I would imagine. The Royal Australian Air Force is going to be in the Pacific, of course. We also have the Royal New Zealand Air Force, which will probably be in the Pacific, considering that's where New Zealand is. And we still have the US Navy to do. We haven't flown out the US Navy yet. See anyone else? No, those are all the English-speaking ones. Let me go and actually make sure to write those down for myself. So, let's see. So, USN, RNZAF, RAF, and RAAF, and beyond that, you guys will have a heavy bomber campaign, which I will have to, well, I don't have to, but I more than likely will manually put it together. using the dynamic campaign generator to actually create a manual campaign completely from scratch. We'll see how it works out. I don't expect it to turn out great, but I'll still do it. We'll see. Maybe it'll be interesting. But yeah, so that's going to be that. Again, I will be putting that up on Google+. I am going to advise that you all vote. And that'll be that. Like I said, we shall see how this all works out. But until then, and you know what? I don't know what to do because... Well, I don't know. Let's see. Let me pull up my phone's calendar. Let me see. Today is the 28th. This episode will be going up on the 2nd of June. I will give you guys until June 14th to vote. The reason I'm going to select June 14th is because that is, if I recall correctly, the start of E3. So we'll do with that. We'll go with the start of E3 is how long you guys have to vote. So June 14th, whenever it is that I end up looking at June 14th, which, you know what, screw it. I'll do it end of the day, June 14th. So essentially, when your clock, well, when my clock essentially says 11:59 p.m. on June 14th is when the poll will close, and whoever has the most votes wins. And I will try to start the recording on the 15th, but we shall see if that ends up actually being the case. If that doesn't end up being the case, the recording will start on June 22nd, and the first episode will go up on the 23rd. But if I do manage to record on the 15th, then the first episode will end up going up on the 16th of June. But nonetheless, like I said, that is the end of this campaign. As always, like, favorite, comment, subscribe, share, and I will see you guys next time. Until then, goodbye and farewell.